Hello, everyone. As Shaun would say, hey, howdy, hey.
Do you want to let him do the intro? Can't do his fucking intro for him.
Go on then, Shaun.
Oh, hey, howdy, hey. Welcome to the Gamers Watch podcast. I can't see shit, but at least I made it to Cornwall and back alive for episode 65. Only
Hey,
wow. Very good.
I'm Shaun.
Amazing.
And as always, with me is Duncan.
All right.
And Harry.
All right. This is the first 3-man recording we've done in quite some time. It's nice.
Been a fair few weeks. I actually can't remember the last one.
It's been about a month and a half, I think, since all three of us have been on the same show. It's been a while.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, because
Stitching up my boots. Going back to my roots. Yeah. To the place of my birth. Back down to earth.
There we go. Back to our normal greatness.
So keep on listening, keep on gaming.
I just want to say yesterday's episode that came out was an absolute belter. Properly enjoyed Chick on a Stick. I thought that was absolutely incredible.
I was well chuffed for that.
So thanks to Geordie Shaun for birthing that idea in your mind that finally realised itself.
Probably more thanks to Bob Mortimer. Not to downplay Geordie Shaun because we adore him. But probably Bob Mortimer a bit loose, that one.
Yeah, Bob, if you're watching, mate, thank you. Cheers, bud. Give us a shout out. Thanks, mate. See you on Taskmaster soon. I've got a funny story that I wanted to tell because we're going back to our roots, and I thought, why not tell an embarrassing story? So if you may remember, if you cast your mind back, oh shit, no, Shaun, do the housekeeping. Shit, sorry.
If you enjoy this podcast, and even if you don't, be sure to share it with your local samurai. And then follow us on Twitter, which is at GamersWatchCrew. Subscribe to us on YouTube, which is youtube.com/GamersWatch. Like this episode on YouTube, leave a little comment, and then hit the notification bell to be reminded when we're about to premiere, which is every Monday at 7:30 p.m. BST, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And buy the bloody merch.
Buy the bloody merch. Also, big shout out to Complete Xbox Dave, who bought the bloody merch. So
actually bought the bloody merch.
He did. Legend. Amazing. So yeah, to answer your question from the other week, Duncan, no, I haven't shut down the merch store. I didn't know the password. So
that's the reason.
The merch store lives on. And yeah, it was because they got into NFTs, but I don't want to talk about NFTs because they're fucking stupid.
Proper professional outfit that we run over here, innit? Don't know the fucking passwords. Ignore the merch though, Dave.
Microphone wasn't working. Yeah, but no, thank you, Dave. We love you. Complete Xbox. Go and watch it. Shaun put the link up on the screen. Do all your magic. We love you. I'm going to embarrass myself because it's been a while since I've told an embarrassing story. So you may remember a few weeks ago that there was this absolutely belter of an episode called Behind the Screens that featured myself and Grant Stoner. And Grant is one of my favourite people on Twitter, genuinely great guy. His dad is out of surgery, is at home recovering really well. So massive congratulations to the entire family for coming through that very difficult time. And what I you're right there, Robo Dunks. What I wanted to say was that we were talking after the recording about a potential guest that I tried to get on a few weeks back. And it's someone that he knows, but I'm not going to name them by name. And they're someone who's also in the accessibility scene, who I've got a lot of time for. I also follow this person. And I messaged this person. I was like, hey, I absolutely love your work. I've got this new series that I'm looking to do. I've spoken to Grant, XYZ. He's going to come on the show. It would be great if I could interview you at some point. And maybe we could discuss sort of your role with accessibility in gaming, etc., and the website that he runs. And he never got back to me. And I thought, that's really weird. And then I looked at his profile a day later, and I had forgotten that he was completely deaf. And so I had invited a deaf person onto an audio podcast.
Oh, Harry.
And he never got back to me.
I wonder why.
I messaged him after and I was like, oh my God, I forgot you were deaf. I was like, you're just blank. You're this person off Twitter. And I completely forgot that you're deaf. And so, yeah, he's not going to be on the show.
No.
Made a bit of a tit of myself.
You do a written interview.
Yeah. So, anyway, Dunks, you still alive, mate? I've missed this.
We need that like morning music where it's like do 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 do.
This thing's fucking magic,
you need
right?
to do
As he wakes up.
when he wakes up, you need to put the Windows XP tune on.
This thing's
so yeah, that's
magic.
my embarrassing little story. What are they? Is it PSVR?
Sleeping mask.
It's called iology. So basically, when you feel a migraine coming on, it's usually around the time when you start talking, Harry. I'm only joking. Basically, it like massages. You put it on your face like that, and it like has all these little nodules and bits that massage your face and your eyes and stuff like that.
Ooh, this episode sponsored by iology.
I mean, they're good bunts to get one of them. So look it up, iology, wicked.
There you go.
And that was a funny story, Harry.
Gamers Watch approved.
Oh yeah,
so
I would endorse that.
Invited a deaf guy onto a podcast.
That is quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah, not quite some of the fecal matter stories that we've told of old, but I still remember a story where someone didn't make it back in time in the car. I think it was one of your mates, wasn't it, Dunks? He didn't quite make it in time.
Yeah.
When he was on the way back from Turkey, I believe. Do you know, I listened to that one back the other day. Some of the early ones when we just had no idea what was going on. And it was just how
as opposed to the really professional outfit now.
Well, I think we probably are like a bit more legit nowadays. Like I can actually say that this feels like we are sort of in the games industry, I guess, because people tune into us. But back then, we talk about wanking a lot, double deckers up fannies and whatever, boost bars.
Boost bars.
Frozen peas.
One of our episodes was called like Sri Lankan Yoda, and then afterwards it was boost bar. It was called Boost Bar Masturbation, and that was the title of our episode. We were rough in those days. I'll tell you what I will do, Dunks, is I will send you a link to mine and Shaun's very first podcast that we ever did, because I found it on SoundCloud last week. And it
press
is
play?
horrendous. Yeah. First episode is on SoundCloud.
God, I didn't know that existed still.
I'll find that. We thought we'd purged it, but no, still exists.
Terrible.
Should we do our Game in 60? Because I've got a pretty okay one this week.
Yeah.
Are you drinking to get through me?
No. I mean, it says it's a nice drink. I got
Harry
Prosecco.
That sounded weird. Are you drinking to get through me? Like, come on. Buy me dinner first, etc.
Yeah.
On a bottle of Prosecco, which was a engagement present from Duncan in Georgia for me and Lucia.
Hey.
It's for me. It's for me. I'm drinking it.
No, it's your therapy drink.
While this is playing, Shaun, can you put the video of you and Duncan just on loop by the side of us? Because
I mean, I'll need to pause it to show my Game in 60, but
on like the fourth screen, just so that entirely.
Oh yeah, we'll have a spare screen. Yeah, I'll do that. The whole show.
It's just a slideshow.
Oh my God. No. Yeah, just every now and again, just a new picture pops up. So I've got a Game in 60, and it's probably quite easy to guess. This village looks a bit like Batman now with that cloth on his back.
Resident
This
Evil
village looks a little bit like Batman with that cloth on his back. That's not Resident Evil Village. Duncan, what is your clue this week?
Heavy in it.
What?
I forgot it was 2 words.
It's 2 words.
Oh.
One game, 2 words. Heavy in it.
Heavy in it.
Heavy in it.
Heavy in it. I'll have to give that one a go through the episode. And Shaun, have you got a visual clue in Discord today, or is it?
I do indeed. I am popping it on now. Oh,
Back to the good old days.
I can play Discord up. Hang on.
Get your Discord up.
There it is. That's the line. Round up, round up.
2, 1. There you go.
Oh. And now I shall pull this rabbit out of this here hat. For the audio listeners, this is the Burger King on a stage with what appears to be a European hare in a magician's hat. And it says, and now I shall pull this rabbit out of this here hat. I might have to do a bit of digging on yours. Get old Barry Shatkin's page up.
I feel like I know what it is, but I can't.
Peruse.
Or
I'm going
do
to work on that
you?
one. No, but I know. Well, no, I tell you what. I know 2 words that together don't make a game. So I'm just going to work on that throughout the episode.
Well, on that, me and Duncan are going to work on guessing that one. Shaun, you have been playing a vegetable-based game.
I have indeed.
What have you been playing?
I have been playing Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. Naughty bastard.
What a little bugger. Jimmy Carr,
always
is
the
it?
turnips.
Ooh, relevant.
Always the turnips. Can't trust them.
It is. Nope. How is it? What's it about? I've literally no idea what this game even is.
So it is a small adventure game, which is developed by Snoozy Kazoo, which already love the name. You play as Turnip Boy, who has been committing tax evasion. It's in the title. And because of this, you have to run errands for Mayor Onion, who has taken your house because of said tax evasions. 2 secs. And it is one of the funniest games I've ever played.
Oh, really?
It's hilarious. Mainly because of the characters and the dialogue between them. Like most of the side quests are literally walk to an area, talk to this character, take something from them, give it to another character. So there's no real depth to the side quests, but just talking to the characters is hilarious. For example, there's one who's a streamer, and you need to get into this barn, but they won't let you in the barn unless you give them a tier 3 sub because they're a streamer.
Right.
So to do that, you have to go back to this guy who basically works at Subway, and you just buy a 3-tiered sub from him and give it to her and gain access.
Right, okay.
There's another NPC who I don't know what they're called, but you know those actual creeps who talk baby talk and use the UWU or OWO stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's one of them who talks like that, and their side quest is it has the one bit of dialogue in the whole game that Turnip Boy actually has, and it's just him saying "stop it," and that's the end of the quest. It's them talking that weave stuff, and him just saying "stop it." Try to think one more example. There's a graveyard, and it's one of those typical things where there's fog everywhere, and you've got to go in the right direction, otherwise you get put back to the start. And there's a pumpkin that gives you riddles, but because Turnip Boy spends the whole game just staring blankly and doesn't talk, he'll do this whole spiel of a riddle. Turnip Boy will do nothing. He'll just be like, just go east. Just go east. But my favorite part is it's a genius mechanic, and it's the most simplest mechanic I've ever seen as well. So do you ever do it in games where you'll have like a conversation with an NPC, then after you'll do something completely random you're not supposed to do, just because the thought comes in your head and you think it'd be funny, like just decking the NPC sort of thing after having a nice conversation?
Yeah, that's why I was always dying in Disco Elysium, because I'd always do the dumbest shit possible with like 1% chance of succession.
Yeah, so this game takes that like sort of moment that people have and turns it into a mechanic, because when you get given something to like read, like a note or a letter, anything, instead of putting it away after, the only option is to rip it up, and you just tear it. That is the only option. When you get something to read, you just tear it. So at the very start, there's a side quest where a blueberry has a crush on this strawberry, and you've got to take a love letter from the blueberry, give it to the strawberry. So you give it to the strawberry, and the strawberry's like, "Oh, that's sweet," and gives you a note back to hand to the blueberry asking them out on a date. And obviously you get it. It pops up on screen like, "Oh, do you want to go on a date tonight?" Your only option is to rip it up in front of her face. So you rip it up. And then if you talk to the strawberry again, the dialogue's just like, "Bit rude, that, wasn't it?"
That sounds amazing.
It's
that sounds
actually
so
genius.
Good.
But it's because not every like side quest has you get something which you then rip up. So it's sort of like, as you're playing through, a side quest will like develop, and like a certain bit of dialogue will be said, and you'll just be like, "Oh, I know what's coming," because you'll know you're going to end up tearing something up in front of this person's face. And obviously you don't know what it's going to be until they like end up saying something and give you it. It's so funny. The actual gameplay itself as well is quite fun. It's very simple, where like you'll get different items as you progress, which you can then use to solve puzzles. So like the first one's like a watering can, which you can use to water these plants that turn into bombs. And then later you'll get like a portal machine, so you can make portals and then throw the bombs in the portals to like blow something up elsewhere. It's very, very, very simple mechanics. And it's not long. It's literally like 2-3 hours at most, I'd say, depending on how many side quests you do.
Yeah.
But I 100% recommend playing it, because it's one of the funniest games I've ever played. So funny. Like Lucia was doing her work last night when I was playing it, and she kept looking at the screen because I was just chuckling every like 2 minutes, just at most stupid things like tearing up a love letter in front of someone. So good.
Well, I'm annoyed at the game I played now, because that sounds really fun.
It's so good to play it. Turnip Boy.
I'm going to give that a go.
Commits tax evasion. Amazing.
So it gets a Gamer's Watch seal of approval. Gets a big stamp.
100%. Absolutely hilarious.
Amazing. Shall I talk about the game that I've been playing that doesn't get that stamp? Fucking Trek To Yomi. Oh, man. So I want to preface this with, I went into this really genuinely looking forward to playing it. It's a game that I've been I wouldn't say anticipating, but I've seen it coming up and thought like, that sort of looks like my cup of tea, quite artistic, simple combat, quite engaging, looks very story driven, Devolver Digital, even though we had death threats because I made a tweet about their showcase once. They publish good games. Good times, good old times. So they publish good games. And so this is one that's been heavily marketed by Xbox and Game Pass. So I thought, must be good. Few things, can't read a fucking thing on it. So straight away, there is no option to do text scaling at all in the game. And everything is written tiny little writing. So subtitles, it's a black and white game. The subtitles are in white. So often there's scenes where there's maybe some fire that's bright white. So it blurs out half of the subtitles. And guess what? The entire game is in Japanese. So you don't know what's fucking being said. The actual text on the screen. There's no way to make that larger. So when you learn a new combo, it's unreadably small. The menu, I sent you both a picture of it. It's all in Japanese, written down, but they've done the same thing with the English text where it's written down, but it's in such small writing that you can't read the actual options for what they are. Like, I wanted to go into settings to find a way to text scale, but I couldn't read it sat on my sofa. So I had to like walk up to the TV to be like, oh, okay, that's the options. That's the visuals. And there is no option to do that. So that was just straight away getting into the game. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't read any of the prompts on the screen. Half the subtitles were blocked out. And then it got to the combat. Now, Trek To Yomi, I would say 70% of this game is walking to the right-hand side and fighting people. That is basically it. And the other 30% is listening to people screaming their fucking heads off way too loud. So anywhere you go, there's just a in the background. Like everywhere you go, I had to turn the audio all the way down because it's just screaming people everywhere.
It's like a day out in Plymouth.
The combat. Exactly. The combat sucks. The parry and the block system is so spongy and so inconsistent. So someone will come into attack, and if you don't press it literally at the right millisecond, you'll either just block their attack or they will just wail through you, but there's no consistency to it. So because everything's in black and white and you can barely see half the people that are attacking you in some of the scenes, you can't see the visual cues for when they're going to attack. So you just basically end up spending most of the time pressing block, but you can't block and attack at the same time. And then you'll learn, for me, I've learned one combo that I've just spammed the shit out of in the entire game, which is a double hit heavy attack, and nothing can block it. Nothing can move out of the way of it. So all I do is I see someone, I hit the Y button twice, they die, I move forward. But then the only way the game has to make it more difficult is it just throws more people at you. So there are then areas of the game where they think, oh, right, okay, so let's make this a bit harder. Let's just have 8 people surrounding you. But one of the other brilliant mechanics of this game is the analog stick doesn't move what direction you're facing. The A button does. So if there's people behind you, you can't just move your stick to the left. You have to press A, which is a button press, which means that you then can't do an attack. It's an absolute fucking mess. Visually, looks really nice. Genuinely looks really nice. But there's this film grain filter on it that I've had to turn off because it's so massively distracting. Often the camera angles are placed in areas where you don't know where the next objective is. So I was stuck in this room not knowing I had to climb out of a window because the camera was so like close in, but the window was right next to the camera and it obscured it. So I was literally just spending time just running like up and down these stairs thinking, what am I missing here? I'm 5 chapters in, and for some reason there's zombies. Don't know why. There's just fucking zombies knocking about. You go from this town that was burnt down and you're like, oh, I must avenge my family, to just being smacking the shit out of some zombies. It's just a mess. I'm seeing people on Twitter that are like, this is incredible. The combat's so good. Oh, it's 10 out of 10. It's perfect. You're lying. It's not. There's some serious problems with this game that I can't believe people are overlooking. I mean, I sent a tweet to you both earlier where someone beat the main boss by just hitting Y over and over again. Like, that's all they did.
And
they
was doing on hard as well, I think.
On hard mode. Yeah, not on hard. Sorry, he's already completed it. So he's on the most difficult version of it.
Super hard.
Yeah, on the super hard mode, based on the Sifu mode. And they're basically just spamming the Y button continuously for 2 minutes, and that's how he beats the final boss. It's just all over the place. At the core of it, it's a good idea for a game. Feudal Japan, really artistic, make it look like sort of Japanese samurai films of old, but they've executed it in such a bad way. And I think the reason that people are saying this game is so good is because it's on Game Pass. They're using it as console war ammo to say, you paid £17 for this banger of an indie game. I got it with Game Pass. I don't understand people's love for this game. It's clunky. The combat is tiresome. The camera angles don't work. The text is unreadable. I was saying earlier, combos mean nothing. Like, once you get this double tap Y combo, that's it. It's game over. Nothing can touch you. It's just not good. So I wouldn't recommend it.
Through.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned about Twitter, because I'm sure we said that last week. I can't remember what game it was about. I was like, if it wasn't for Twitter, I probably wouldn't have given a shit.
Starfield, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, I can't elaborate more. Harry said, because I've barely played it. I played it for like 10 minutes. I was like, nah, I don't get it. I mean, I've played Ghost of Tsushima, which is an unbelievable samurai game, but it's weird that they've gone with just like the black and white. There's a term for it. It's like an old Japanese director, and I can't for life remember what it was. But there was a mode.
I've seen it flying around on.
It's not Kotobukiya, but it's something like that.
Yeah,
and they put their mode in Ghost of Tsushima. But everyone was like, it just makes the game worse because it's better with colour. Because, by all accounts, the Japanese countryside is beautiful. I don't know. With the parry thing, I didn't get. I thought it's just not in the game because it doesn't work.
There is a parry system. It's so inconsistent and spongy. It may as well not be there.
And you mentioned it earlier on when we were talking about it with that Song of Iron. And I did not understand the fuss about that. And I just felt the same thing with this, just really washy combat system. So I played it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I touched it again. Cheers.
The entire game is about Japanese samurai combat, and they haven't got the combat right. It's the one thing. It would be like making a football game and you're like, shit, we forgot to put the football in it, and it's just 22 guys running around a field. Oh, that's eFootball, isn't it? But
that's actually not bad now.
Honestly, yeah, I've heard.
It's all right. Another day.
We'll have to revisit it. But mate, they've made a game all about being a samurai that makes being a samurai look shit. I just don't get it. I don't. The only thing I can think is that people are saying they like this game more than they do because of Game Pass and because it will get them a bit of clout on Twitter. That's all I can think. It's a thoroughly it's definitely a game that exists. That's the best I can say about it. It's certainly a game, and it definitely exists.
Trek to Yomi.
Gee, boy. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, wouldn't recommend it. Nope. Big old ploppers from me.
Play Turnip Boy instead.
Yeah, I will.
Just quickly, we mentioned football. Sorry, you see the FIFA name's been naffed off its EA FC now?
Yeah,
it's officially been changed now.
Yeah, of course it'll be a week late with this news. Whatever. But it's worth chucking in there.
Yeah. Oh, and also, Chelsea and Man City are fucking dirt. I hate them. They've ruined football. So there we go. Should we talk about something that happened a week and a half ago now, when this episode comes out, that everyone has probably already talked about? But it's that Fortnite came to Xbox Game Pass mobile, and then all of Xbox Live broke. Now, one thing to just mention is that they're not connected. Apparently, the issue with Xbox Live was a licensing issue, not an actual service issue. but it does bring up the fact that Xbox are heavily pushing cloud. And I saw that Jez Corden spoke and said basically we're about a year away from native TV apps with Game Pass. And within 24 hours of that happening, Xbox Live and their DRM basically fucked up everyone's gaming weekend. And there it's 4 days later and people are still potentially locked out of their games. So this is what's going to be more Fortnite. Yeah.
Because it hasn't happened. I mean, I don't know if you've read it, Shaun. It hasn't happened to me. I get it. It has happened to you.
It has. It's happened to me. I can't say what the game is that it happened to me on because it's my game in 60 seconds, but it has happened to me.
See, it's really weird because
in a game,
I really fucking odd. Like I think because we game share, so basically your Xbox is my home console, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think if you sign out or whatever, I can't access it. But the only time I kept getting it wasn't when I was playing Elden Ring. But this was like, a month ago, and I kept getting it. You need to be online to play this game. You need to own this game. It does seem like a real fucking bullshit policy that you have to be online, because I thought that had been fucked off with the Xbox One.
There we go. So did we. And it turns out it just hasn't. And the DRM has always existed. And it's just been there in the background, but it's never caused these issues before. I want to just say one thing. There are worse things in the world right now than not being able to play Xbox for 3 days. All right? There's much worse things happening in the world than, I can't play Trek To Yomi, which, to be honest, was a bit of a saving grace for me. But that's not the game I couldn't play. Funnily enough, that was the game I could play because the other game didn't work, but Trek To Yomi did fine, which was weird. It was very selective. Only 2 games didn't work for me and the rest of them did. But where does this leave xCloud's future? Because there's a lot of people now. Like this whole thing, when I wrote the script a few days ago, was going to be, isn't it great that Fortnite is on mobile and now loads of people can access cloud gaming on Xbox for free because there's no subscription charge needed for it to be played. It's just through Xbox Azure cloud services. And I was going to sort of talk about the TV app and the fact that it's looking likely that there's going to be more cloud integration and they've got an entire cloud-based showcase coming up. But now it just feels like their shitty DRM's in the way. Like how I feel all momentum for Xbox Cloud has just gone within the last 5 days.
Do you reckon?
That's how I feel. Shaun, how do you feel?
I couldn't care, but it won't affect it at all. Streaming Stick will be announced at the showcase. So everyone will forget, and cloud gaming will be bigger than it ever has been because it continues to grow. It doesn't make a difference. Like if these outages were common, yeah, it would make a difference. They're not common, and they won't be common. I don't imagine. Like you won't. It'll be rare, I think, to have another big Xbox outage like this for a while. Like they've happened before, obviously big outages, but they're not common enough to make a difference. So maybe for the next few weeks, you might see less people cloud gaming, but they announced the Xbox Game Pass Cloud Stick thing that I said I don't see the point in last year on the podcast, but and everyone will forget the outage. Apart from people that want to start flame wars and stuff like that on Twitter.
Apart from petty cunts like me.
Twats who keep receipts.
I mean, yeah. Oh, I've got my receipts, bitch. Oh, remember when Xbox Live went down for 4 days? Remember when PSN went down for a month and I had all of my fucking data stolen? Christ. That was 11 years ago today. That was.
People soon forget.
Off my Facebook.
I think about it. Yep. Just to echo what Shaun said, so it happens all the time. So whenever a World of Warcraft expansion comes out, there's about a week of fucking shitty server issues and you can't log in. Everyone's on the forums going mental, and then the day after people are let in and can play their games, you've forgotten about it. Played that game from 2004 to 2015. Probably the amount of days I couldn't play were in the hundreds just because of server issues. As soon as I got to play it again, well, I can give a fuck. They want to be right. You'll get over it.
It was the same as for us with bloody Flight Sim when that was like unplayable for the first day and a bit. Soon forgot about it once it was playable because
I was playing it literally last night. Yeah. Now, one thing that did come out about this whole cloud service stuff before, obviously the worst thing that's ever happened in video game history, bar E.T. the game, happened, is that it does look likely that Xbox are going to allow cloud streaming for your entire games library. Now, do you think that's going to be physical or digital only?
Hey?
So if you've got a physical copy of a game and you put it in,
depends,
do you think that you'd be able to cloud stream that?
Depends how the licensing works, because probably not, because you could just sell the game, still play it on the cloud.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like you have to put the disc in every 15 days or something for the license to stick around. I don't know.
Maybe. That was the Xbox One thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Xbox One was you had to sign in after every few days for it to carry on.
Or buy a Xbox 360.
Your whole library would be amazing, because I've got fucking hundreds of games now. Yeah, that's why. To be honest, it's why I can't go properly to PlayStation. Not that I want to anyway, because I've got so many hundreds of games on Xbox. Yeah, I just if I was not that I'm kind of tribal to anything, but I'm so embedded into the ecosystem now. I just couldn't. Just out of guilt of leaving those games behind, I couldn't do it. But cloud streaming every game you own would be something special.
That would be, for me, the pinnacle of where cloud streaming is going to be. I think they will announce that. I know you guys have already spoken about the showcase last week. I think that will be one of their big announcements, is that complete digital library game streaming will be happening. And I think they're going to tie it in with the Steam Deck. I think that is going to be an announcement that they're going to have like a partnership with Valve or Steam with that console, because they don't want to go completely. They don't want to do their own console handheld when everyone's got one of these. I think that will be a big announcement. But I've never really been excited about cloud until I thought about just streaming any game I've ever owned. Because obviously the other day I bought KOTOR again. So I'm still playing like original Xbox games. And I think having access to basically every Xbox game ever on your phone or on your laptop, that would be quite big.
The only thing I don't like...
Pinata you could play.
The only thing I like, this is a proper me problem, and I think it's something Gaz said when he was on, like, because of like Quick Resume and Game Pass, I find it really hard to get into a game, because I'm like, I want to play something else. Oh, I've been playing this 5 minutes. What else can I play? And I just bounce between games. And if I've got every cunting game I own, I'll never fucking play anything. It's like Netflix.
You'll just be on rotation of like, yeah. You'll just be scrolling through like, no, don't want to play that, don't want to play that. Oh, I've got no games to play.
Yes, literally that, yeah. But obviously that is a huge non-problem, and that's something I need to work through, probably with therapy. That's my big takeaway from all of this, is that if they are going to go all digital, I think they need to do something about the DRM. But yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, it happened. People were pissed off. Will people even remember by this time this podcast comes out? Probably not.
Exactly. It should, like, I wouldn't say it's not a problem. It's a problem, but it's a problem that no one's going to remember in a few weeks' time. So it's a problem they won't fix. It's as simple as that.
Pretty much.
Like, it just shouldn't be a thing, DRM, but it is, and people cope, and people won't care.
Yeah, and I saw something the other day. Someone was saying like all digital is bad because video games can just be taken away from you, and the licenses and XYZ. But they were a PC gamer, and you think Steam has been all digital for 20 years now, and nobody gives Steam flack. And Steam has some horrendous DRM behind the scenes, apparently. So, I don't know. What a waste of a segment, because I don't care.
In summary, yeah.
But Fortnite came to mobile, and apparently absolutely fucking exploded. Apparently it just went through the roof.
I couldn't imagine playing it with touchscreen. But I said a few weeks ago, it's quality.
More people playing Fortnite.
No excuse.
And via Xbox.
That's right.
Oh no, I'm sure I can still think of an excuse. I did see something quite cool where it's like Fortnite gets a lot of shit, but what other game can you play as Master Chief with a lightsaber? So it's fair dinkum, that one.
I mean, that's all I want to have a game, I guess.
Shall we swiftly move on to something I've been very much looking forward to? I think we'll all just bow our heads because E3, it's been confirmed that E3 is no longer with us. So it is a genuinely sad day for the day that it happened like 3 weeks ago. But yeah, no more E3. And there's been some fun things have happened during E3. Fuck off, Shaun.
What?
Just getting yourself a stiff drink.
It's only a Pepsi.
Stiff Pepsi.
Oh, I thought you had poured a spirit into it.
I didn't want to have all the Prosecco because it is an engagement present, so it's only fair that Lucia has some as well. So I'm having some Pepsi with some Jack Daniels. That was courtesy of the lovely Duncan.
Yeah, I found them in my cupboard, so I hope you enjoy, mate.
Are they in date?
Who knows? So find out.
Fuck no, let's find out.
I just I don't really like JD, so I hope you do.
There you go.
Don't mind it with Pepsi.
I watched Shaun drink an entire bottle of JD once, and then pass out on his studio floor. So enjoy.
I? Don't remember that.
I bought it for you.
Remember drinking rum at yours?
Yeah, good times.
I wasn't invited.
Make a fucking montage, mate. That's in reference to my montage. That was definitely a joke. It was definitely a joke. I promise. So over the years, some funny things have happened during E3, and I thought it would be good if we all picked a few little funny moments over the years. Because obviously Jeff Keighley's wanked himself into a coma now at the thought of being the king of video games.
He's fucking hate
in the corner
that guy.
like Randy Marsh.
However you pronounce it, Keighley or Kylie, he's a cunt.
Cuntley.
Jeff Cuntley.
Jeff Cuntley. So he's in the corner rubbing his thighs. I've got all the video games. So I thought, fuck it, let's not talk about him. Let's talk about E3.
If he's at EGX, how much for me to kick him in the shins?
Yes, please.
This is for Bobby. Then run off.
For Bobby.
Kick him in the shins. He turns around in agony. Jordan's there with his bare ass in his face.
Geordie Shaun in the back with his mean face.
Yeah, Shaun just walk around with a big fucking tube all day. Just.
Oh my god! If we go EGX, can we get Geordie Shaun to go onto the cosplay stage for the competition? I'm the moon from Majora's Mask.
I'm the picture of my face in a toilet tube that I sent to the guys at Game & Watch by a private message. Yes.
Right.
Shaun put in the thing in the corner of the spare video, put that picture of Geordie Shaun's face up now. Just the moon face.
Definitely.
Should we talk about some funny E3 moments? Because I've got one that is one word. It's half of Duncan's Game in 60 Seconds effort. It's when the guy just shouted Peggle. Genuinely one of my favourite moments ever. Nobody cares about Peggle. I love Peggle, but it's not an E3 showcase game, is it?
Fucking is. Peggle's amazing.
So for those of you, for the uninitiated, Peggle is fucking fantastic. And it was when they were announcing Peggle 2 at E3. I can't remember which E3 it was. And the developer was genuinely really excited. And he was like, and now Peggle 2, and did this like big arm sweep. Woo! And utter complete fucking silence.
He leapt like 10 foot in the air.
Oh, yeah, he proper did like an anime. You were expecting him to freeze frame in the air. But no, he just flopped back onto the floor. And there was complete and utter silence. It was horrendous. Silence.
There was crickets in the audience, and what made it even better was when he jumped, it done the like proper orchestra do 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 music, and there was just no one made a noise. Yeah. It was genuinely one of my favorite. My favorite moments from E3 are the cringy moments. So we spoke about it just before. Yeah. There's the Konami showcase where the bloke couldn't speak any English whatsoever, and they just threw him out and were like, "Go, entertain them." And he was like a deer in fucking headlights, which was amazing. Duncan, yourself, what's one of your standout E3 moments?
I've got two. My fucking glasses are all misty. So the first one, I think the guy was called, Suda51, like some Rockstar game developer, and he was showing I think he was showing off, is it the Kinect? And he's like, and you can even see what's written on the bottom of the shoe, whapa, and then like the character's foot just spazzed out. And the other one, because I forgot
about that. That was at that like 3 hour long presentation on the Kinect, wasn't it? It was so long.
Gosh, it was a Kinect. And the other one. Really funny if I just had like a spare foot, just so I could just bring it up the side and start blaming it around. Should have prepared. And the other one was, I can't remember. The game was something like a Need for Speed or something like that. And it was one of these like proper before like the YouTube celebrity kind of really kicked off. And I think the guy was called like Jesse Wellens or whatever, and he was like, "Hey guys, now we're gonna." Yeah, and now Need for Speed. Yeah, it's a new game. Woo, yeah, that's right. And he just completely fucking bungled his line. And I don't know what it is. There's something hateful about me where I like to see knobheads just crumble under pressure. And it just and then the guy came on. He was like, "Hey, yeah, thanks, man." He's like, "Oh yeah, great game, bud." Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah, guys. Ooh, this is awful. Fuck that guy. Makes good music though, but just great.
Reminds me of the Tony Hawk's Ride, where the skateboard just didn't fucking work, and he was like, "And now you do a kickflip," and it just wasn't doing anything, and he was there for absolutely ages, like, and then pop shove it, and it's just watching Tony Hawk, one of the greatest skateboarders of all time, flap about on a plastic skateboard while nothing happens. Shaun, have you got a wholesome moment, or is yours more embarrassment?
Mine's embarrassment. I love, for this sticks in my head. It has stuck in my head even since it happened. It was the train wreck of the like Sony conferences, and it's just a bit where he goes. He says the game once, there's no reaction, so he feels the best thing to do is to say it again, but with more enthusiasm. And he just goes, "Look, everyone, it's Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer!" Dead. Crickets.
Oh God!
Or
I forgot about that.
Or these battles are historically accurate to Japan. Now here's this giant enemy crab.
It's so
Attack
good.
its weak point for massive damage.
Just like in feudal Japan. Like the tales of old.
There's one that always sticks in my head.
Samurai.
And I think it was like for Trolls Fusion, and the game director like rode in on like a motorbike thing, and he was dressed up in like the Evil
squirrel.
Knievel. No, he was in like the Evil Knievel kind of white with the blue and the red, and he crashed into the stage as part of the gag, and he's like, "Whoa, guys! Whoa, God! Oh, phew! I was really hurt myself," and everyone's there just really steely faced, like. Great. Who's this cunt? I love it. I guess I'm sad about that we're not going to get any more of these awful moments. But in a way, I'm quite glad because even the Xbox showcases, I cringe a little bit when it's like, I don't know. I just find it all a bit wank. Just show me trailers, innit? Stop talking and shut up. Give me trailers.
Yeah. There is one nice moment I did want to mention, and Shaun, I know it's a game that you're not allowed to talk about on Midweek Mix-Up, and it's when Mario Rabbids was announced. And you'll probably know the moment. I've completely forgotten the names of everyone involved. But basically, the creator of the game was in the audience, and they were like, here's a game that this guy made. And he just welled up and burst out crying. And it was just, you could see his like raw passion for what is basically XCOM with Mario, but you could see like his entire life's worth was given like recognition live at E3. And yeah, he just completely melted into like a puddle of just complete emotion. That was a great moment. And also the time that Ubisoft hired a comedian and he just completely fucking rinsed everyone and spent 3 hours calling everyone gays and nerds. So that was quite funny as well. That was a good moment.
There was another wholesome moment. I'm pretty sure it's E3. I might remember wrong, but it was the EA conference, and it was when they first announced Unraveled, and the developer came out with his little Yarny like doll, and he was visibly shaking, like with how nervous he was. But like,
that was E3. Yeah, I think more than anything, I'm going to miss these that we can't now watch the cringiest parts of E3 2022 because there's been some belting moments. What a time. But yeah, no more E3.
Sorry, you kind of just went, like looking off wistfully into the distance, like, memories. Memories.
All alone in the moonlight. Well, that's 2 songs we've done today. Dunky Boy. Dunky Dunks. You've been playing a game.
There is.
And this is a game that I know Shaun has played too.
You've been playing a game for a game podcast.
Can you imagine? My number one hobby.
And
it's not kicking
I'm
in chest.
going to shut up. I'm going to actually shut up. I'm going to mute my mic is how much I'm going to shut up. And I know, Shaun, you played this game before as well.
Right.
Give it a mute.
Harry, allow me to shock you and delight you. I can't talk about this game. Imagine that. What?
Why?
Huh? Have I shocked you like the Stanley Parable might shock a player who plays the game? But seriously, I think people should just play it to the point, Shaun. I've recorded footage, but I'm not going to send you any because I don't think we should show any. Like Asa said it best from Game On Daily. He did a little clip of it. It was like, you should let the game play you. I don't know what to say about it without ruining any of it. It's probably, it feels perhaps like set in the Portal universe, even though it isn't. And fucking hell, you know, like the Bioshock twist that everyone talks about, like the Would You Kindly thing. It feels like that constantly. and you're constantly on your toes with what the game is asking you to do. I really don't want to say almost anything about it, because I think if anyone wants a completely different experience with games, I mean, I've never played anything like it at all. Oh, fucking hell. I don't want to ruin
Had
it
you
for
played
anyone.
it prior to this?
Never played it again. I never played it again. I can play it again, though. I did more than once. I'd heard of it. I'd heard how revered it is. And obviously this is a new release because it's the Ultra Deluxe edition, I think. So I think for it's a new release. So if you're talking about Game of the Year, it can be included in that. But yeah, no, I knew how loved it was. Didn't know anything about it. Bought it when I got back from London, and it's astonishing, but completely different to anything. You just have to go with it. It's pretty not.
Maybe to expand, rather than talking about the game itself, have you ever had a game where you've gone into it with just no idea what you're going into and experienced anything close to this before, where it's just completely taken you by surprise? Because I haven't played Stanley Parable. I've got it downloaded. I've watched Shaun play it a little bit. But is there anything that you've gone into basically blind and just been completely bowled over by it? Because most games are ruined within about a week on Twitter, aren't they? That just happens.
I know you've been playing it recently. Alba is probably the most recent one where I had no expectations going in, and I loved it. And it's the same for this. And it's the whole thing. Why indie games are fucking brilliant, right? Because you just don't. You're going to get completely different experiences in your run of the mill cookie cutter fucking Ubisoft bullshit. It's astonishing, really. Basically, I say a tiny bit. So I kept refusing. What you have a narrator, and he kind of tells you what you need to do in the game, and I guess there's multiple ways of playing it through. I've only done it once, and then I ignored him the entire time. Ended up in an area that I couldn't actually escape from, and I had to restart the game. I didn't get any achievements for it, but it was just it was funny to me that I just completely it did what I wanted. And the game was like, "Oh, fuck you then. Start again." It's like a proper fourth wall. You know how kind of like Kojima in Metal Gear Solid would make you move your control into the other port. Not quite like that, but it does stuff completely different to anything else I've played before. Probably less of a game, more of like an interactive story, I suppose, with light gameplay elements into it. But it's a wildly different experience to anything I've ever played. I can't say, oh yeah, if you like this, you'll like this. You probably get some knobheads who'd be like, "Well, it's a bit boring." Well, you don't get it. Like people say, Rick and Morty. Well, you're not clever enough to understand the jokes, guys. I would just say play it. I'm very reluctant to say much more about it in case of spoiling it. It's like if someone was talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. You can't say much about it without spoiling it. And I know, Harry, you hate MCU, so don't even bring it up. But you know what I mean? You can't have a conversation about it without...
technically Sony, so it's okay.
I mean, you could have just let me finish what I was saying. Yeah.
Sorry.
Did so well. Sorry. But I mean, yeah, fuck Sony. I watched Venom, This Is Carnage, and that is the worst film I've ever seen. Stanley Parable,
I've got a funny story about that film.
Cool. Stanley Parable, I would highly recommend. It's like 19 quid at the moment. I feel like it's money well spent. So wicked. Great review, Dunk. You didn't talk about the fucking thing at all.
I've never played it, but I know some of the themes of it. And I know, Shaun, you absolutely fucking love it, don't you?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was years ago that I played it on Steam, but it's a really good game. There's no other game like it. It's one of those ones where you have to play to understand it. Like, even watching someone play it on a stream wouldn't do it justice. Like, you just have to play it. Doesn't take any effort whatsoever to play it. Just play it.
So we've got 2 endorsed games today.
I can't take
Shout
the
out
positivity.
And one piece of shit, apparently.
Oh, you forgot about the piece of shit.
Yeah, it's not a piece of shit. It's just not very good. It's just massively average. Just a very quick one. Venom, This is Carnage. I almost went to go see that with my father-in-law, but I was really like properly ill when I was supposed to be going. So Shannon went instead of me. But she was 8 months pregnant when she went, and they sat on the front row because her stepdad has problems with his knees and he has to like put his legs all the way out. So they watched basically Tom Hardy scream as loud as he could for 2 hours while she was 8 months pregnant. And when she got back, the baby didn't stop kicking for like 12 hours. Like, it just, her stomach was just like all over the place, where it had just been like completely assaulted by that piece of shit movie, to the point where I thought the baby was going to burst out of her like fucking scene from Alien. But
wow, that's a really funny story, man. Thanks.
And
quite funny.
Worst film I've ever seen is Hereditary. There you go.
Yes, that film sucks.
Comments from everyone.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, really not very good. Jordan, you're wrong. I know Jordan likes it.
Does he?
Yeah, fucking loves that piece of shit film. Should we do our answers to Game in 60 Seconds? Because I've been trying to think through this episode what either of yours are.
I know Shaun's.
Not a clue.
I was on the right line.
Oh.
You know Shaun's?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know Shaun's.
You want to have a pop?
Crown Trick.
Oh, I thought I'd frozen then. Okay.
In one. Got it in one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Well, it
That's a good one, though. Duncan, I've tried your one.
So
I have no idea.
heavy in it was Anvil.
Heavy.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I'm really annoyed because your two's clues are
heavy.
quite good.
I was going to guess yours was Alba because you always just go for whatever you play recently, but that's not on Game Pass.
It's not on Game Pass. No. So my one was that village over there. Looks a bit like Batman. Now he's got that fabric on him. And that is Town's Caper.
Oh, because you've been playing it recently and we should have guessed.
Yes. I've been playing Townscaper recently. And it's a town with a cape. So it's the Town's Cape.
You could have said he's up to an adventure. He's up to a caper. You know.
Worse
or
some kind of nut.
than Arkham Knight.
No, it's not. It's pretty bad, though.
Fucking well. What has that got to do with Batman?
Well, because he wears a cape, doesn't he? Bit of fabric on his back. I'm sorry. Have we both got a shitty Batman clues?
Well, only one of us.
So yeah, Town's Caper. Because it's a town's cape.
I thought he could develop that a bit more.
Yeah. So there we go. What a belter of an episode with the three of us. I did try to shut up a bit more than normal. Don't know if
Bobby
it worked.
Belter.
Bobby Belter. Yeah, I thought it was quite. That flew by, lads. Didn't it? Just.
Yeah.
I might play more than one game next week.
Yeah, I don't. What are we all going to play next week? Do I reckon?
I've got an idea.
Play Stanley Parable.
I've got an idea of something I want to play, but it's also one of the games that I'm going to test some of the season 4 graphics with.
Ooh.
So it depends whether my webcam turns up in time or not.
Ah, fair enough. there we go. I actually do know what I'm going to be playing next week. I'm going to be trying out Ayuden Chronicles because that literally came out today on Game Pass.
Looks good. So I fancy that as well. That's all right.
Yeah. So I'm going to give that
more importantly,
a college try.
Eurovision is on this Saturday, so I'm not playing any games on Saturday evening. This fucking Evasion is the best.
We're going to listen to Graham Norton take the piss out of a Slovakian lady for 3 hours, and I am all for it. Bring it on.
I'm at work, so I won't be able to watch it anyway. Can everyone vote for the Rasmus?
Are they in it this year?
Yeah.
It was Jezebel, I think is their song they're using.
Is that the ow?
Up down watching.
Yeah.
Is that band? Yeah. It's one of the new songs, which is also really good.
I fucking love Evasion, man.
3 songs today. Oh.
Yeah.
So there we go. Everyone vote for the Rasmus.
Yep. I mean, it's going to be over by the time this airs, but... You know.
Oh, yeah. Go back in time and vote for the Rasmus. There you go. I'll put a tweet out the day before saying just a reminder.
I can't believe the UK got no points.
I can. Shock. Because we're an awful country full of arseholes.
And that is where we'll be leaving this episode. So thank you everyone for watching. Shaun, Dunks, do you want to do the outro?
You can do it, mate. Is you back this week?
I was going to say. Yeah.
You do it.
Okay. So follow us on Twitter.
No, not that
Gamers
bit.
Watch Crew.
Shaun does his bit, and then you do the other bit that I say.
Oh, the sign off. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you meant the whole outro.
I was just going to do the outro, just be like, subscribe and stuff, but there we go.
Thanks for watching the Gamers Watch podcast. If you liked it, and even if you didn't, then follow us on Twitter, which is at Gamers Watch Crew. Follow us, subscribe to YouTube, which is youtube.com/gamerswatch. Like the episode, leave a little comment, hit the notification bell to be reminded when we're about to premiere. You want the times? Go back to the start of the episode. And from me, keep on watching.
And from us, me and Duncan, keep on gaming.
Woo! Hey.
Right, bye. Enjoyed that. Are you just continuing on?
I'm recording.